Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Building the Landing Page. Today we're going to talk about optimizing your site for phones. And in our sort of studio that is actually an office, today we have Martijn. Martijn, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
All right, well, glad to hear.
Thank you that I can be back again.
Yeah, I feel like we're missing someone.
Yeah, he's unfortunately not in the Netherlands anymore, but
yeah,
he's back in his hometown.
In Norway, right?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So Hendrik will be kind of following along this live stream, but then as an audience member, or at least that's what you've told me. And we're today going to talk about a couple of things. The main topic is going to be, of course, making your landing page mobile ready.
Yeah.
But before we do that, we're going to introduce who you guys are for the people that have not met you guys yet or have watched previous live streams. We're going to tell them what we've done so far, and then there's some room for some feedback, some questions as well.
Yeah.
So, what is Vegan Treasure Box?
Vegan Treasure Box is a box that is basically a box where we put in a meal for 2 or 4 people, and we really focus on nutritional base. So some people like to have more protein, some people like to boost their immune system, some people like to have more brain power for when they study. And at the moment we're targeting students.
Yeah.
So young people, and they especially don't know what to eat. So we thought a vegan treasure box would be perfect for them.
Yeah, great. So you're creating convenient meal kits that are vegan, so they're sustainable, they're good for your body, and they help you with certain fitness goals, with certain health goals, to get a brain boost or to build some muscle in the gym. And your target audience is students.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, great. So far what we've done, and I'll just get our browser there as well. Here we see it. There we go. So far what we've done, we have improved your first landing page. So when you guys came onto the first live stream, we had a feedback session for that, and then we decided, okay, what can we do to communicate your message more clearly, but also how can we make sure that your visual identity matches your brand. So after some sessions, we came up with this landing page, and I'll just scroll through it real quick.
Yeah, huge improvements.
And that's pretty much the base of that. Now we're going to see if there's anything to improve now that we've taken some time, took our eyes off of it for a couple of days, and now take a glance at it with a fresh look. But first, do you have any questions?
Yeah, well, basically, I've been also been working on it a little bit, especially the footer.
Yeah.
And there's some improvements I think have to be made, and asking you the question if you could help me.
Yeah.
To make it pop a little bit more.
All right, great.
And also with the sign up button. How that we've spoken about it with your with the other website.
Yeah.
The
Drawmate.co.
How that better pops up and makes it easier for people
to sign up.
Yeah,
that makes sense. All right. So first of all, I'm going to take a look at some of the changes we made. One thing that I noticed immediately is you managed to do the header, which is nice. You also have now a shadow underneath this thing. Now I'm going to remove that just for the sake of consistency, because we use it nowhere else.
Yeah.
And even though it looks nice, because we use it nowhere else, it is not consistent, and we try to make sure that the identity is recognizable, and consistency plays a big role in that.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Then another thing that I kind of wondered last time as well, but we ran out of time, so to say, is whether the call to action is clear enough, because we have a good build up towards it. We state the problem well: drama in the kitchen, junk food, unsustainable eating. Screaming in the kitchen about what to make isn't fun, enjoying food together is. That will save you some money in counseling. Junk food just leaves you with a junk food hangover. Delicious doesn't have to mean unhealthy anymore. Cows and packaging leave quite some waste. Care stones, bam, from unsustainable to sustainable eating. And then introducing vegan treasure box, the fast food that saves the world and makes you feel like you're on top of it. Then we show people the different boxes, the features, so to say, and what the benefits of all of these boxes are.
Yeah.
And then what you would expect is a big, okay, sign up now. Sign up for the waiting list, because right now you're not quite live yet.
No.
But sign up for the waiting list. But it is kind of a small button. So when we scroll through it right before we ended a live stream last time, I was like, okay, well, that's that's just not clear enough. So we want to put a little bit more emphasis on what people are there to do, which is to sign up for the waiting list.
Yes.
So that's one thing. Then the footer. The footer looks nice, and you put all the necessary information there. So phone number, email address, and the address of your business. There are a couple of things that we might want to reconsider. So one of the things we want to reconsider is sign up and be an early bird, benefit from being an early bird to be the first one to receive a free box. Now, we want to make sure that that actually becomes part of the call to action at the end of this page. But if we put it in the footer as well, it's double, and then it becomes confusing because we display the same information twice, really close to each other.
Okay.
And then that's going to lead people to be confused where they have to put in their information, and that might hurt your conversion a little bit. Okay. So instead, we'll just leave that bit out for here. Make the footer as small as possible. So by putting the logo on one side, putting the info on one side. I would not even, in this particular case, add the social media channels, because this is a landing page and you want to make sure that people convert. So if people click away and go to a different page, to a different platform, they're lost forever. Okay. Because then they realize how many notifications they have on Facebook, and that's just so much more interesting than what you guys have to tell. Right?
Yeah. I get what you mean.
Yeah. So, and it's also in here twice now, so we're going to remove both of them. Now you've made a button here that helps people to scroll to the top. This is a really essential button when it comes to, for example, blogs or articles. But when it comes to something like a landing page, then the question is this really necessary? Because the most important part, we basically guide them through a story, and when they're at the end, they should take a certain action. In this case, is to sign up for that waiting list, as we've mentioned before. Now, if people go back to the top, of course there's a sign up for the waiting list button there, but it doesn't do much else.
Yeah.
So it is not essential to have that button there, whereas if you were in a long article and you want to go back to the top so you can see other articles, then it would make sense to have that. But I think that in this case it takes up quite some space, but it doesn't do much.
Okay.
So
no. Yeah.
For this purpose, I think it's better to remove it.
It was also quite fun. But I like to make it as well. It was nice to make it.
Yeah, it is cool to make it, that's for sure. Hashtag top header. Yeah. But you can use it in other places.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I'll just save it as a template and then can get that ready. So update here. Now I've removed the shadow here. And removed that part, the scroll up button there as well. And one of the reasons why I removed it is because it kind of breaks with the flow of the page design-wise. Because we now have this image that flows into this green part, which is the footer. Mm-hmm. But otherwise we would have had a white space in between. Yeah. All right, so edit with Elementor. I'm going to edit the footer from this landing page. And in the meantime, I'm going to ask you, do you have any other questions?
No, I'm just curious how we can improve the footer. And yeah, I get what you mean with the bottom up, but it was fun to make it and see how it works.
Well, it's very important to make sure that you just kind of mess around with these kind of things, because you always end up finding something that is useful for later.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like you. I see something and I'm like, cool, how would that work? And then I put it on there and it's like, cool, but then actually it doesn't make sense. Supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So it's important to remember what the purpose of the page is, but it doesn't hurt to try new things.
Yeah.
Because, well, that's how you know more and more and can become better at building your website.
Yeah.
The same with the footer. Like, this is not a bad footer at all. If it would have been on a blog, because then you wouldn't have some other kind of call to action. But because right now we have a very clear flow of what we want the visitor to see, it doesn't make sense to have it here. So it's always, there is no clear answer, oh, you shouldn't do that or you should do that. It's completely determined by the goals that you have for a certain page. So I'm just going to go, and this icon list can actually go as well. And I think that I'll make it even smaller by and then making sure that it's something like this. I want to put everything on the top, so it's all consistent. I'm going to add one more column there, so we have the same size everywhere. I want this one to the left, and then this entire thing can go.
But you also said the last time, you said like you have to do something with privacy and stuff on the button.
Yeah, that's true. So we're going to, that's a good thing that you mentioned that actually. So I can add that right now. If I go here, that's a bit too much maybe. But let's see. Mobile drop down, none. And then I'm going to the menu screen indeed to add a menu there. Now, two things that you always want to make sure that you have is terms and conditions and a privacy policy. And a privacy policy is also required by law.
Okay.
So privacy and cookie policy actually. So we'll just call this one legal stuff. And then, because I'm assuming here that you haven't made those pages yet.
No.
So I'm just going to put a nice hashtag in the URL for now. And then I'm going to say privacy. That sounds a bit too much like piracy, what I just wrote down. Privacy, policy, and terms and conditions.
So yeah, next time we will just make them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can use a generator for that, or ask Grace, who is sitting here in the corner, that no one can see.
Yeah.
She hides well.
She's in good legal.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, great. So I'm just going to update this one real quick and then refresh the page. So then I can load in the other menu. Then you have all the information that is required by law there.
Yeah.
People need to have a way to contact you. So you've mentioned that in the footer, and there's also a privacy policy, and there's terms and conditions, which is necessary actually on both sides, but it's also important for your own business in case anyone decides that they should, try to make use of certain situations. Okay. So we have here, it's best if it's just white. And let's see, just to make everything consistent, the text should be not, but 20, this one can be a lot smaller. This one can be 20 as well. Because we use 20 as the body copy throughout the entire page, for the sake of consistency in our design, we will do that here as well. I'll put the zip code here together, so it will be on the same line. And then finally, I'm going to make sure that the padding is not this big. And then add typography. 20 again. I think this is a bit too much for these things, but we can add a line underneath
Extra.
to help people understand that this is something they can click.
Yeah.
Now finally, we might want to put a heading there.
Huge heading.
A huge heading that says, I don't know, something like legal stuff. That should work just fine. Actually, horizontal. Let's style it a bit. Pointer width. You can have 0 padding there. That's fine. Then I'm going to copy this one. Oh, that was not what I was going for. Copy this one. Add it on top here. And say, this is about contact. And then I'm going to copy it one last time. Not actually to put anything in it specifically, just to make sure that everything is in the same, on the same height. Which it seems like it has a bit of an issue with that. Oh, come on. I think that the room between widgets has been adjusted in this column. Let me take a quick look at that. There we go. That's better. Just say like that.
What is that with the BR?
And now we're quite consistent.
What does it mean, the BR?
If you use that code, so open bracket and then close bracket and BR in the middle, it basically comes down to saying enter in HTML.
Okay.
Okay, great. So I've updated it. Now we can take a look at it. So just take this and say visit site. And let's have a look.
No, much better already.
All right, great. I see that the padding here is a little bit weird. So let's see if there's something we can do about that by taking the structure here. 25, 25, 25. Well, reset. Great idea. Let's see what happens if we do that.
It's because it's too wide or not?
Can make this one more like that. But these ones should be about the same size. So if this is 35, maybe this should be... I need some mathematics for this, and that's not my strong suit. So, do you happen to have a calculator by you, by any chance? A calculator with you? I'm sorry.
No.
Ah, that's too bad. Okay, then I'll have to do it like this. So, let's see. I want 90. Okay, well, I just realized that I'm not being the smartest guy ever. Like, what is that? It's not that hard. 90 divided by 3. I
you really wanted to do that?
I should be able to calculate that by head, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. 30, 30, and then finally 30. Perfect.
Nice.
That should give us a little bit more consistency in the widths Here, great. Okay, cool. And then I feel like it's not too bad of an idea to have about 50, maybe that's a bit too much, but 30 on every side as padding, just to see what that looks like. Then I'm going to see the width of this section. That's fine actually. So then I can refresh the page, see what that looks like. That's fine. I'll just have it here as well.
Needs to be a bit lower. Yeah. Oh.
Alright, cool. Then I'll change this to 30 and 30, because otherwise we still have a huge footer.
And a smaller logo.
That's a really small logo indeed. So we're just going to go like that and just put it on the right for now. Oh, maybe not even. I feel like it's acceptable to do it this way. Let's try. There we go.
Yeah, looks better.
Great. So, any questions so far?
No.
Alright, good.
Makes sense and looks good.
Then we're going to move on to this part. Before we get into getting things mobile ready, we're going to add a new section, and that's going to be the one for the call to action. So of course this button will be part of it. And we're going to have to come up with a nice header. Heading, sorry. I'm messing up the terms today.
Heading.
A nice heading. Okay, great. So, what is a good heading that we can use to describe the urgency that is necessary for people to sign up to this waiting list?
Well, was it something like what I did before with get something for free or something?
Yeah, that's a good one. We've discussed that actually in the previous live stream. What is the incentive to sign up for the boxes when it's still a waiting list?
Yeah.
So first of all, we need, of course, to communicate that it is still a waiting list.
Yeah.
Is there an incentive that you guys have thought about that you're going to use for people to be a bit more motivated to sign up?
Yeah, actually we thought about having the first box for free.
The first box for free.
Yeah.
And that is also something that is financially viable?
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
Or at least, or we thought about that you can also help with this, what would be better. Or we thought about having that they get discounts if they refer to someone else, or discount. Discount. Is that which one is more?
The discount to refer to someone else is something that you can actually use after they signed up.
Okay. And a discount.
I would do that after you launch.
And a discount of being early bird. That at one point there's no that until a certain date there's an early bird, and then afterwards you're not early bird anymore. So you have to pay, and you get a list. Like for example, first you get 50% discount, then you get 25% discount.
Yeah.
And once the website
the
is
early bird discount.
Yeah.
That's pretty common, and I think that's a good idea. But if you can afford to give the first box for free, you might as well do that, because you guys are a subscription service.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It is possible then.
Yeah, then you at least have you will get cash flow later.
Yeah.
If people don't all after the first box think,
Never mind.
But yeah.
That's why the risk maybe.
Yeah, you could also make it, for example, a 3-month subscription when you launch, and that they get the first box for free in those 3 months. That's also a possibility. So it really depends. But if it's viable for you guys to give that first box for free, then that's a really nice incentive because people love free stuff. It's also something they can touch. It's something physical, so people love that as well. It's not just another ebook, another white paper. It's actually something that they can hold and enjoy.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it is also really clear in the communication. Oh, you get a free box. That's a lot easier than you will get your first box with 50% off. You can also say that, but a free box just sounds so much cooler.
Okay, let's do a free box.
Let's do a free box. Okay, if Henrik is the financial guy in this situation.
Me.
You are. Okay, great. So you're allowed to make this decision then, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Luckily.
Cool. I hope that I didn't convince you too much from the marketing perspective then.
No, it's okay because I started it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So then I'm going to share my screen here again, and we're going to come up. So with a nice heading. So we're going to say something in the lines of sign up for a waiting list now. This is not one word in English. And get
So confused.
your first vegan treasure box for free. I'm wondering whether we should put anything underneath that, or whether that's pretty clear.
It is big. It is. If you put that one in the middle, the sign up.
I'm wondering whether I want to do it like this for the sake of consistency, because we have actually put nothing in the middle. But if that works better, then we should. Let's see.
We can try.
Let me first add a bit of padding. So 60 on this part, well, maybe a bit more than that. In this case, we want to actually have as much space there as possible, because this needs the attention, because it's one of the most important parts of the site. Maybe this is too long for a title, and this should be a subtitle. So I'm just going to duplicate it for now, and then we maybe something shorter, as in the lines of a free box.
Something short than a free box.
No. Like we can have one free box, and then this as a subtitle, for example. So we would have 20. That's one way to do it. Or do you think what we had before was better?
Let me see the whole website, and maybe you can see that from there.
Okay. We're going to refresh this page.
It's always easier when you see the whole website at once. Then
yeah, exactly.
This one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree, but I feel like it should be bigger.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Actually, I don't mind if we put this one in the middle, because I feel, as you said, we can try it, but I think that in this case it's good, because it breaks the flow of the page.
Yeah. Put more attention.
That makes, you're right, it makes sure that people pay more attention to it.
Yeah.
Not everything can be perfectly designed sometimes. If it works better, it works better. Simple as that. It's a balance. Okay, great. Actually think we should make this even bigger. So we can make it 60, for example. And then we can make this subtitle also a bit bigger. Let's say 30. That might be a bit too much. Let's say something along 25 for this example.
Yeah.
Then we also make this button bit bigger.
Can
Also,
be
this is something important to notice is that usually what you do with buttons,
It's too big.
you make the font size of a button usually a bit smaller than the font size of the copy that's right next to it.
Why?
And the reason for that is because with a button you have space on top and at the bottom of the button,
Yeah.
and that makes the text of the button look bigger. So it is about
Okay, so it is
making sure that it matches optically instead of absolutely, so to
Okay.
say.
So it looks bigger because it's in a box.
Pretty much,
Think outside the box.
yeah. Think outside of the vegan treasure box.
Yeah.
Okay, then this might be just a bit too much. Let's see if I say 20 here and 20 for this one as a padding as well. And then we want to take another look here at the website, see how it looks. Okay, that's really clear.
Yeah.
Now we want to break the page even more. So I'm just this is this is the wrong editing, the wrong editor. Let's see. Let's make the background color here gray, and say something like that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and refresh one more time.
Yeah. So the line, the color difference makes it extra look.
Exactly. Now one thing I've noticed, let's see if this is actually true. Just wondering, how big is this text?
60, I think.
60.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then we're consistent as well. That's great.
I've one question.
There's some consistency there.
Yeah. I have one question later, but I can ask it later.
All right.
About the in the top about the Happy Meal.
About the Happy Meal. Oh, all right. Now you got my curiosity though.
Okay. It's about if it's not should not be if you go up the vegan, like a new kind of vegan Happy Meal, because it doesn't say enough vegan. Maybe people think it's a Happy Meal. It only says in small vegan ones.
Yeah, well, the thing is though, we say that there are vegan meals right after that. So I see what you mean, and this is something you might want to test, but it's kind of like, oh, it's a new kind of Happy Meal. If we start off with, it's a new kind of vegan Happy Meal, what was the old vegan Happy Meal?
Yeah, that's okay.
So we can make that comparison in that way. We're
Yeah.
comparing to something that is old, that is very obviously not vegan.
Okay.
So I think it's good to introduce it in the line under that. But
Okay.
of course you can test it if you feel like that's something that needs to be changed.
Yeah, because a lot of people just look at the heading and they go to the next heading and then to the
Yeah.
next heading.
Yeah, exactly. But the headings are there to catch people their attention,
And then and then text underneath gives more detail.
and then you expand.
yeah.
And to be honest, I think there is very little confusion about your meals being vegan because of the name of the website,
True.
your brand name, and the way everything is styled. It
True.
says vegan treasure box right away.
True.
So I see what you mean, but I'm not sure
Does it have to?
whether it is that necessary yet.
Okay. Just
Cool.
wondering.
Good. Fire away with all of your questions. That's why I'm here. Great. So let's scroll to the page one more time. A new kind of Happy Meal. Then we scroll down. and we go all the way down, then one free box, sign up for a waiting list now and get your first vegan treasure box for free. And then we get a testimonial.
Yeah.
I think it's good actually that in this case we put the testimonial underneath it.
Yeah.
You can also put it on top of there, but I think it is maybe just
Too
a little
far
bit
away.
too much, because otherwise it's just a lot of scrolling before you get to the point, so to say.
Yeah.
Because it comes down to signing up for a waiting list, so we shouldn't push things too hard just yet.
Okay.
All right, great. So then I'm going to do two things. I'm going to put this one here on the mobile version so we can get started with designing that. One thing that I immediately notice is that the header is also sticky on here, and it's pretty big, so that might be something for us to take into account.
Everything I added on the mobile does not affect the desktop, except text and stuff.
Yeah, so every element that you add will affect within Elementor the desktop version as well. But you can change this. You can change things like the padding, the margins, all of that without any issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And also the size of the size of the font size.
The font size you can also change without problems.
Okay.
Absolutely. So let's take a quick scroll through this page. Now, of course, one thing that is immediately noticeable is the fact that
The picture.
it's all kind of all over the place, alignment-wise. We can't see the background picture that well. That's also something. So we might have to wonder: do we need a background image here at all, or are we going to redesign the background image so it fits? It fits this particular section better on the mobile version.
Yeah.
Then here, alignment issues, but apart from that, looks quite okay. Same here, the background picture is again a challenge.
Yeah.
So we might want to take another look at that.
And yeah, this yeah.
Then we have this
It
one.
looks so small,
What?
like the phone, and then look at the website.
Yeah.
It looks like the website is too big for the.
for the phone, for
Yeah.
the mobile version.
Yeah.
That's something to work on.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we have a website that works well both on desktop and phones.
Yeah.
And you can either start with the phone version or you can start with the desktop version. People always say, oh, go mobile first. I've tried that design process. It's something I don't particularly like myself, because I feel like it's easier to make sure that it looks good on a phone than it looks good on a desktop.
Yeah.
But it is something that is separated to a certain degree, and both need attention if you want to make sure that everything looks as good as possible.
Yeah, because a lot of people nowadays look at their phones instead of the laptop.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
quickly go on the phone. Oh, okay, yeah.
All right, great. So I'm going to ask you to do something before we get into this, and that is to give us a little bit of an idea of the vision for Vegan Treasure Box. Why have you started? What's your story? And where do you want to go? So I have some time to drink a bit of water and to put some lip balm on, because I feel my lip here is cracking as I'm speaking, and it doesn't really improve the quality of my speech.
Okay.
So the floor is yours.
Okay, the Vegan Treasure Box. I see it in front of me like, well, first my background. I've been motivating to do a lot of sustainability for the last couple of years. I've tried to start some other companies as well, where I want to see that, where I want the sustainability be the first thing that's to notice. So the global development goals, those are really were my target at the beginning.
Yeah.
But then at one point with the corona and everything, a lot of changed. And then I was thinking of people, they are not eating healthy anymore, first of all. People are talking that they gain weight and stuff like that. They don't eat healthy, don't look at their food anymore, and they don't move anymore. But also that people start eating alone. So what I want to create is the people want to eat together again, that they start enjoying the food, and that they also know what's inside the food. So transparency about what's in the food. And then I saw a lot of people around me having bad food, and then the vegan treasure box, and then I came across with Henrik, and Henrik had the same goals, a little bit different, but then we combined them. And then the combination is this.
Because Henrik, if I remember correctly, came more from the sustainable eating part already, so more about food. He wanted to do something with food. And then your main focus has always been sustainability, and how can we, create a better tomorrow. So those two visions combined is basically vegan treasure box, right?
And also with the adding of a small treasure, with a small pencil, what can be eventually you can plant, and then you can maybe plant like a basil. For example, you get basil, and then you can use that basil again.
So that's the little treasure there. That's why it's called that way, vegan treasure box and Happy Meal, so to say.
And also
that's the comparison.
Everybody loves the Happy Meal, but at one point you got too old, and then you weren't allowed, sort of allowed anymore.
So makes sense. All right. Great.
Yes.
So we now created the Happy Meal for adults.
And
young adults.
And also and also the healthy version.
The healthy version, absolutely.
And the tasty.
And sustainable.
And tasty is also really, really important for us.
Of course.
We love food.
That helps. That helps a lot.
And if you see that other people like food as well, but they don't really make you enjoy it as much, then it's a shame.
So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more padding to the sides here, and I have to make sure that everything is consistent. I'm just going to find an amount of padding that I can be happy with. So maybe something like this on the sides. Then I'm going to go ahead and see this stuff. Okay, that works well. The margin on the right can go in this particular case. That already looks quite nice. So now this button here, more information, I'm just going to take that out completely. And the reason why is that when you're working on mobile devices, it is a different way of dealing with things when it comes to so-called click events. Because it's way easier for you to
scroll. To scroll.
To scroll, yes, it's easier to scroll. That's one thing, but it's also harder to click. Because if you have two buttons that are really close to each other, that's annoying as hell.
Yeah, there is.
And you've probably had this issue before, where you're on a website and you're trying to click something, and that
the wrong button.
Wrong button. So we want to minify the amount of buttons on the side, and because more information only leads to the next section anyways, we're going to leave that one out for now.
Okay.
All right. So, and in Elementor you can do this by going to the responsiveness and then say hide on mobile. And I'm just going to take it step by step. So I'm going to start out with optimizing for mobile, and then we might do tablets as well, depending on the time that we have left. Right, then. Same here. 30 and 30. Let's check whether I did the same thing in this column. Here I have 40, so I need to increase it a little bit on both sides. So you want to be consistent in the amount of padding so people have a nice experience when scrolling down. And surprisingly, that's already the padding for this thing, so that's nice. Then this thing here, let's see, how big is this section? Okay, great, 40. There we go. We might want to...
do we want to change the fonts? Of the, not the fonts, but the
font
size?
sizes, absolutely. Here, it isn't that much of a problem yet.
No, but down
we
there...
can see in the other one that it is starting to become quite an issue. So we'll change that to 35 maybe.
Then we have to change everything, right? All the sizes, or not?
Absolutely. Not the first one. The first one is fine. Because that is supposed to be the biggest one anyway. Maybe 30. This seems like a more of an appropriate size. So I'm going to change that here as well. Alright, great. Now this one, let's make that one 30 then, or 20. Just for the sake of...
Yeah, size of the... Yeah.
Because right now there is one size difference less, because all the headings became smaller. And we want to make sure that people still get a sense of hierarchy throughout the website. Great. So let's see. This one should be about 40 already, but just to make sure. Same for this one. Should be about 40 already. And so that's this one. There we go. Just like that.
Always double check.
Always double check. Then go here. This one's going to be 42. And that means that the padding here, we can kind of turn that one off. We can go here, make sure that this one is more like 40. This one can go back to 20. Because we now don't have the comparison on the same part of the page. Because we don't see everything at once anymore, which is the case on the desktop. So then breaking the page is more of a challenge when it comes to colors, to then to font sizes and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just make sure that it takes enough space, enough screen real estate on your phone in order to make sure that people see it the way it is meant to be seen. This can be 17. Great. And then we're going to do the same thing here. This one is also going to be 40. And that means that we're going to make this title a bit, just a bit smaller as well. There we go.
Looks already better. More overview, better overview.
Exactly. Now, I'm just going to add just a bit more padding on the bottom for this one and on the top. So it takes up a bit more screen real estate to break the page. For this one, I think that's fine actually. Let's see about the other ones. Okay, great. This one should be about right too, but oh, there should be some padding here at the bottom. Oh, that was not what I was going for. This should be 40. And then what's going on here? It has its own padding already, I think.
Which one?
This one. Yeah, okay. The same line, sort of. Creative with padding.
Yeah.
This is a bit, cheating a little bit, but that's okay. Sometimes we need to do that. It works the same way, but normally when you would have a little bit more time than on a live stream, you can dive in to see where the problems are with the padding and make sure that you can change everything in the same place.
Yeah.
But I just want to add about 80 there. And this should actually be 0, and same for this one. There we go. That's a lot better. That's a lot better already. Because otherwise people can't read it. That would be very unfortunate. Okay, great. This is now 80. Then we can check whether that's enough. Or we want to make it 100 maybe. You can do the same thing here. Now it's the same everywhere. We can say 100 and 100. Though I think that this section, it flows into the next one. So this one can stay just like that.
Yeah.
Alright, great. So it's going to be very hard to position the same background image here as we did with the desktop version. Because as you can see, it needs the width to work.
Yeah.
Now, we can go vertical with this one because that has the entire, it fills the entire screen.
Yeah.
This one doesn't, because it goes right into the next part of the page, which is the boxes themselves. So I think it's better if for this purpose we're going to disable the background image.
It's quite hard when there's no
True story. Let me see. Can also try to go more like that, but
it's harder to read.
Very much. No, repeat. So I say different.
If you go down,
If I make the color more like grayish, just like that. When you go down, then this is not gray, by the way. Come on. Help me out here.
yeah. F.
There we go. That's better. Great.
What have you done? What have you done?
What do you mean? What have I done?
I didn't see what you done. Okay, now I get it.
All right, good. So I'm basically trying to get rid of this background image here.
It's there. You know where it is, right?
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, good. So it flows just like that. There we go. Okay, that's already a bit better. Then we can take a look at this part of the page. There's a couple of things happening here. First of all, I feel like this is not quite in the middle. That's something we might want to take a look at.
It has to go a little bit more to the right.
So vertical lines should be in the middle here. That should be one thing. Can we say... Nope. That should be in the section. So vertical line would be, let's say, there we go. Column position stretch. Now this will also impact the desktop version, so we want to check that later.
Yeah.
But that should be fine.
Okay.
Okay, let's see if, yeah, screen size is now the way it should be. And that means that we can move on to optimizing the background images. So basically we have now optimized the page with the spacing, and we'll check one more time later on to see whether we got everything in. The next step is to make sure that we get the background images the way we want them to. And pretty much that means that you create background images that are not made horizontally, but vertically.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go ahead to Photoshop, make a new file, and I'm just going to switch these around. So instead of 1920 pixels by 1080, which I would normally use, I'm going to use a width of 1080 and a height of 1920. And then I have to find that background images of yours. Let's see if it's somewhere here. I do see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or down there. Down. The happy married.
The happy married couple.
There. Over there.
Oh, there.
Which one is it?
Both actually.
Okay.
This one is the edited one. So I'm just going to import that here. And then...
Doesn't it lower the quality now? Does the quality not go down now?
Why would the quality go down?
Because you stretch it.
Oh yeah, that would be the case, but if you look here at the top in Photoshop, you can see that I actually am only using 10% of the actual size. Photoshop scaled it down to match the width of the canvas, which is only 1080 pixels. But this, the width of this image is almost double in size.
Okay.
Now we can go something like this, probably. You can also try to make it bigger, but then we would have more trouble with the text. So we could position it here, for example.
Yeah.
Something like that. Now, one challenge we are definitely going to have in this case is that the image stops here and his head isn't completely on there. So that might be a little bit annoying for us. So if that doesn't work out the way that we were hoping it would, then that would mean that we would need to find a different image.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to see whether we can make it work. I would be surprised. But
can always try.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we find a little miracle.
It's almost Christmas, huh?
It's almost Christmas, so it's only expected.
Oh, the head goes down. She's looking at some grayness.
Yeah, she's looking at a gray mass. And then maybe another layer. Bring the opacity down a little bit on that one. Something like that. Or is that weird?
If this is a picture like this, it's just a bit...
It's a bit weird, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, that means that we have to go look for a better picture for the mobile version. Very unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. It's part of the game, I guess. So let's have a look.
We're also looking now for a picture that is the same for straight, right? we're looking for a picture that's also straight.
Oh, you mean in portrait?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can take a look at that. That might be best, but not necessarily, because we have some text to work with.
Yeah.
What's most important is that we get an image that we can crop, and then we have some white space on top of it.
What about the first one? The first one.
This one?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Because then we still have the same problem.
Because the
You
head
see?
goes.
The head doesn't fit on there. So we would need to find one where both people have their entire head on it. But I actually think that if we go back to the downloads that we've made so far,
Yeah.
let me see. Then we can go to this one and see if there's anything similar. We might use this one, for example, or this one. This one?
Yeah, the first one.
All right, great.
Maybe also a bit more corona proof.
Yes, that's what we're going for here. Make sure that that is part of what we need.
Yeah.
Okay?
Happy married Asian couple cooking salad together.
I like how they say cooking a salad.
Yeah.
Who cooks a salad?
Nobody does.
Well, these people do. They cook salads.
Wow.
It's not something you see often, but it is something that they do. Oh, that was not what I was going for. Okay. Interesting. I'm having some technical difficulties. There we go. Sometimes these things need a little bit more work. Import it in Photoshop, just like that, and then we can resize it a bit to our wishes, just like that.
Better.
Definitely. Then we just have to get creative a bit and kind of make sure that the background fades into the foreground. We're gonna do some painting.
This is your favorite part, right?
This is my favorite part. When I can paint, I'm a happy man. Oh, there we go. I would like to say for this live stream, good enough. Can I have a seal of approval from you? The legendary, what's your CFO?
No.
Co-founder.
Co-founder.
Of Vegan Treasure Box.
Yeah. It's okay.
Thank you.
I've seen better.
Me too.
Good.
Just going to
Clear that.
make sure that you take that back. No, just kidding.
Oh, now it comes. Now it's a perfectionist.
Yeah. Now I feel insecure about my abilities, so now I have to prove something, right?
Yeah. That's what
No,
I wanted.
think this is fine. We can see whether this works, so I'm just going to export that as a JPEG. And we're going to put that on the website. So there we go. Let's go back to our browser and see whether this will work. It's always the moment of truth right here. Image there. Let's upload the files. Cooking. Let's insert the media. Ooh, that was not what we were going for. Let's have a default position to start off.
Needs to be lower, right?
It needs to be a bit lower, yeah.
But also we need to see the vegetables.
So let's see if I say top center, whether that will make a difference. It won't.
Not at all.
Absolutely not. We'll say cover.
No.
No, no, no. All right, great. So then we need to find a way to fix that. And the best way, I think, in this particular case is we have some real estate here left. So we're just going to go ahead and make it a bit smaller. This is just experimentation. See what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah.
The background images are always the most annoying part to get right for mobile versions. That's why often websites don't have any background images on mobile. They don't dare to do that, you know.
I haven't noticed yet, but now we're noticing.
Well, focus on it and you'll find it very soon. There we go. Some another creative painting class.
Nice.
Right.
Well made, huh?
Yeah, very much. Add a nice Gaussian blur.
No, not too much.
Not too much, no.
This is like a lady in the back.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
I'm also here.
I was here before you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, that's undeniable.
Same you, but then different.
Okay, great. Then again, I need to
Do the hair.
do something about her hair. Let's see. There we go. It's always the hair.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that this girl doesn't have curly hair.
Yeah.
That makes my life a little bit easier. That's the problem that I always have with my own pictures. There we go. Okay, great. Now, let's try that again. Export as. I'm going to make another nice JPEG out of it. Just see how far we will come. Cooking. Cooking 2. Export it. Because in this case, it is nice to have these people in here, right?
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we keep that same same vibe, so to say. Let's see. Okay, well that's already quite a bit better.
Yeah, you only have the button in front of him like he's a criminal.
You can't see his eyes. we have to keep them anonymous.
Yeah.
Alright, great. Let's see how big this text is. Is it 20? Yes. Great. So this one can actually be slightly
I
taller.
like it actually.
120, 130, 140. Maybe even that. Maybe even that. There we go. Now we got somewhere. So the more information button will be gone in the final version.
Yeah.
And people can actually see what I'm doing here. So I'll just share my browser again. But we added the background image and now it looks like this. So that's the way to do it. Then let's scroll down. We have Sophie's experience. Now we have another challenge.
Sophie. Yeah.
We're gonna have to find Sophie, who's here.
The couple.
Sophie and her boyfriend.
We do a lot with couples. That's something
Yes. Yes, we do. Just realized, by the way, I should make a canvas first. So, let's go to Photoshop. Add the couple in there. Gonna try to do the same trick. I think that in this case we want to something like that, maybe. Then let's make the entire thing a little bit lighter. Add some light. And then just go like that. Take it from there. Put something on top of there. It's a nice image. It has just been taken on a very bright day in the Netherlands. You know, the harsh Dutch sun in the winter.
It's you will burn directly.
Yeah, exactly. There's just no way of dealing with that.
No.
That's just the truth. Actually, this might, if I just do that, that might work as well. I should just go paint again. I feel like this is slowly becoming an art class, but that's okay.
Draw made.
Yeah, I've given those as well, so.
Yeah, and they are good.
So, there we go. Well, that's not quite what I was going for. Let's try that again. I think this one a bit lighter than that. There we go.
It's like we're in heaven.
Right?
It's like we're in heaven.
It's magic. That's what it is.
Yes.
Call it magic. There we go. And add it like that. Okay, great. And then just to top it off, going to have one more layer. Just like that.
Wow. Yeah. Oh.
Just to make sure that that heavenly feeling really gets across well. Thanks, Sophie.
Thank you.
Exactly. And then we're going to add some vibrance because right now it's a bit unsaturated. So there we go. This seems more like a picture that could be placed on the website of Vegan Treasure Box. I'm going to export it again.
Yeah. Because they eat vegan treasure box, they don't burn.
Yeah, exactly. They go to heaven because they ate vegan.
Yeah.
So we're going to call this one testimonial. We're going to export that. And then we're going to import it into Elementor. See what happens.
Okay.
Just drum roll, please.
Testimonial.
Testimonial. Let's insert it.
Oh, well, yeah, it's good.
And then we're just going to add a bit more space underneath there.
Yeah.
Not that much space. More like no. There we go. Maybe even a bit more than that. There we go. I just want it in the center though. Size should be covered, I think. And then position should be center.
Nice.
Maybe just a little bit more space there. Just like that. All right, great.
Yeah.
Good.
Nice. Looks so much more better.
As you can see, we still have the old footer here. That, of course, has been changed, but not yet on this page because I haven't refreshed it since we changed it. But that should be fine. Okay, now we have
What do you mean?
a version that is officially optimized for mobile. There are some things that we might want to do extra. One of the things that we could, for example, do is edit the header here. If this thing will allow me to do that, actually.
No, it's
Do you
go
think
to
I
header.
should go here
Yeah.
first and then say main header landing page? Because I'm not sure whether I want to have it sticky here. It takes up a lot of screen real estate,
Yeah.
so that might be
So better just go directly down.
what I would like to do, and that's something that maybe
Wait,
Wouter can help me with,
It's
is that if you scroll down, that you will get a pop-up once you scrolled past the sign up button with sign up now on the bottom, and that will be sticky.
okay.
We've done that on previous websites as well, but I'm not sure whether I can figure it out here today by myself, because you need some JavaScript for that, and he's way smarter with that than I am. I'm more of the design guy,
We need
and he's more
router.
of the functionality guy.
Yeah. First put it on desktop. Right?
Let's go on mobile.
Mobile, I mean, yeah, sorry.
And let's see. So it's not going to be sticky on mobile, that's for sure. Let's update it. Let's update it.
Let's refresh.
And then
With refresh.
I'm just going to refresh this page. Final countdown. Wait, no longer than that, because if it's more than 15 seconds, we have to pay royalties.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Why do you think I always stop singing?
Makes sense.
We can't afford to sing here. That's just the truth.
Not yet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe never. You know,
Maybe never.
maybe never. What happened? What's going on? Should have that one now. Turn it off on mobile. It's for later. Just gonna cheat a little bit because I feel like this thing is just not doing quite what I want to do. So sometimes you just gotta help the things a little bit.
Make a white background. Okay.
And then I can even, maybe I'll make a nice gradient actually. Can I?
Yes. Okay. So you want to, instead of the picture, you want to have an gray background.
I'm just going to add a white background there.
Mm-hmm.
It is not exactly the way, because you could do it with CSS as well. Just turn it off. But right now it doesn't really want to do what I wanted it to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it like this for a second. So you at least have something that you can use immediately until I have fought this thing off. There we go.
Yes.
Great.
Good. Also an option.
There we go. So let's scroll through it. As you can see, without the header, it becomes a lot more, everything becomes a lot more visible.
Yeah.
So that's really good. So I'm going to update this one. And then maybe for next time,
Footer.
the footer. What's with that?
Is there something? No, if you're a perfectionist.
Ah, yeah, we should optimize that one as well. You're right. I haven't even noticed. There we go. Let's make this one 40. This one can go back to 0. This one can go back to 0. We can turn this heading here off. Responsive, hide on mobile. See whether there's anything here that we need to take into account. There we go. And then finally, same here. 0, 0. This one should actually have about 30 on top. Or 40. Great. Then this one
You can do that in the middle, right?
can have 0 in the bottom. It's
No,
fine.
okay, that's
Everything
fine.
is
Yeah,
aligned to
okay.
the left.
It's nice.
So we're going to align that to the left as well.
Yeah.
I see that this has changed. Font sizes. So we're going to turn this back. I see white has changed font sizes.
It's too big.
Going to go for
18.
15 now.
Oh, 15.
Or 17. Let's do 17. Make it as big as possible.
Yeah.
Same for this one. And then if we're going to make D17, we should make D17, of course, as well. Make sure that
We
everything
We don't
is nice
prioritize.
and consistent.
We don't prioritize other fonts,
No.
other text.
There we go. Text. Let's make it white. And we're going to do the same thing here on the other side.
You don't like that it's a little bit too transparent?
No, because we do it nowhere else.
Mm.
And it makes it less legible. Alright, great. So, final. A new kind of Happy Meal. Sign up for the waiting list. You can see it just like this. This is what it looks like. The old way has lost its way.
Little bit.
Then something has disappeared here.
It's the photo.
Have I removed anything?
No, it's
To take a look at it later.
it's the photo.
It's the photo. It's just...
With the text, you remember?
oh wait, I see what the problem is actually. We're not in the right editor. So we have to go here. And then I can do a proper review. If it allows me to leave the space actually. There we go. Have it loading just a little bit. We're going to scroll through it and then we're going to finish up. So some last questions. Some final questions.
How to do the pop-up, but
That's something we will discuss in the next one.
yeah,
We can do that. We'll plan a good date for that.
yeah. We'll see how it goes in lockdown.
For
well.
potential lockdown, yeah. Then we need to do it via Zoom. That's also fine.
Yeah. And I like it. It's like popping up now with a sign up, and so yeah. Final questions.
No final questions?
No.
Good,
Good, right?
That's great. So, here.
Do you expect some questions?
No?
Okay.
I was hoping this would be fine.
Yeah.
So, a new kind of Happy Meal. We now have this picture here. We have this here.
Yeah.
Then that. Rain food. And then one free box.
Yeah.
And then Sophie. We might want to
So no
optimize
footer.
it a bit more in another live stream.
So we don't have a footer right now?
Hmm?
Or is it me that didn't saw a footer? Oh,
That's
yeah.
here.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
We might want to optimize things a little bit more in the next live stream. What we could do, for example, is add some extra images on mobile,
Yeah.
but we would need to work a little bit on that, test this first, see how this is doing.
Yeah.
But you now have a website that's optimized for mobile and is optimized for desktops.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much good to go. And
So yeah.
because there's one thing that I feel like is just a little bit off here, and we're just going to have to see whether that still works. But you have this part here, this section. It's a lot of white, from white to white, so to say.
Yeah.
So maybe I can change it real quick here before we go, because we want to break up the sections a little bit, of course. So maybe I can go from, I don't know, F5, F5, F5. There we go. To white, indeed, just like that. And 180. Perfect. So then it looks like that. Let's see if I scroll down whether that feels better. That does, to me at least.
Yeah.
Because now it feels like a different part of the website. I might even want to make it a bit darker to give a little more emphasis to it. So, oh, that's not the right one. Background overlay. This is where the background overlays are really handy.
6, 7.
I think that's lighter, so something like that. All right, great.
Yes.
Actually, maybe even.
What is the best way to do if we want to click on if someone clicks on the sign up? What's the best thing to do?
What do you mean?
Is it best to use MailChimp or?
Oh yeah. So that's something we'll get into in the next session.
Okay.
So how do we connect MailChimp to this website? Also, how do we make sure that we get as much conversion and as good of a user experience out of the sign-up form as possible? But MailChimp is nice in the beginning because it offers a lot for free until a certain amount of subscribers. Whereas ActiveCampaign, which is the best alternative, does not. Okay. So I would start off with MailChimp and then later, when you have enough traction, switch to ActiveCampaign.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay. Yes.
All right. Then thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
I hope it was
help.
useful again.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'll hope to see you in the next one then, when we will optimize, basically your sign-up form.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.